Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Britt and this is Coffee and Makeup. Today is not a makeup related video. I'm going to be talking about my favorite podcasts of all time. If you've never listened to podcasts, then you definitely should. And if you have, please leave your favorites below. I'm always looking for new ones. But these are just some that have really impacted me. Either they've made my day significantly better, they've never ceased to entertain me, or they've inspired me in some way. So all these podcasts that I mention, I'll be leaving the information links in the description below. And I've got my trusty phone so I don't forget any of them. So the first one that I want to mention is a podcast that I hold very near and dear because it actually inspired me to do many things in my life, including starting this channel, and that is the Confidence Podcast. It is hosted by Trish Blackwell. It's every Tuesday she'll put out a new episode, and basically if you have a goal in life or a dream, some type of project that you really want to complete and you just feel like you need an extra nudge, someone to motivate you, some help, then you should definitely listen to this podcast. It is so inspirational. She is just amazing and bubbly and super excited about being productive and accomplishing what you want and being extraordinary in your life, and it's just infectious. Like, listening to her makes me more productive, and it doesn't matter what your goal is. It could be starting a YouTube channel, in which case I really encourage you to do it. It's so much fun. Or it could be like a fitness goal or any other type of school related. It could be like get all A's or career, anything. She will help you to get the confidence and just the drive to go for it, like whole hog, go for it. So I love that podcast. Another one of my absolute favorites, I should mention this close to the beginning, is the NoSleep Podcast. It is so amazing. It's just a compilation of scary stories that are narrated by different voice actors, very talented people, and they are just so spooky. It's based on the NoSleep subreddit on Reddit, so if you are a Redditor, you probably know about that. There's like scary stories and there's certain rules to, you know, writing the scary stories, and this is very similar. It's actually based on the subreddit, and these podcasts are so good. I really look forward to them, and these are podcasts that make my workday experience better. Like, when there's a new NoSleep podcast out, I know that menial tasks at work are going to be infinitely more fun because this is one that I always listen to when I'm doing boring stuff at work. So creepy stories, and also it's not that gory or like, I don't know, it's not cheap thrills horror. It's more like deeply spooky rather than just gory and blood and guts and stuff, which I really like about it. Another sort of horror genre podcast that I really like is called We're Alive, and it's almost like an old-fashioned radio show. So it's about the zombie apocalypse, and there are a bunch of voice actors, and they are just acting out this scenario. So it is like basically an old radio show about the zombie apocalypse. It was started in 2008, and I think they just wrapped up this year in 2014, so it's very long and ongoing. And it starts out a little bit slow and a little bit shaky, but just stick with it because it gets so good, and it's very exciting. A lot of times I listen to this in the car just to keep me awake, but there are certain points where something like a jump scare will happen, or something unexpected will happen, and it's all I can do just to stay on the road. I'll be like clutching the wheel, white knuckling it, like, oh my god. So it's a very exciting one. That's what I like about that podcast. Also, everyone there is so talented. All of the voice actors do a fantastic job. So that's another great one. One podcast that I find very entertaining is the Savage Lovecast, and the host is Dan Savage, who you may be familiar with. He has an advice column, I think like an advice blog. He had a show on MTV for a while, Savage You, and he is just this very funny sex and relationship advice guru, I guess you would say. And the podcast consists of people calling in with their sex and relationships questions and him very amusingly answering those questions. He has a great sense of humor, so that makes it funny, and it's also just like fun and like a little gratuitous and, you know, voyeuristic, because you can hear all these people's very intimate sexual and relationship type questions. So it really is fun. If you're uncomfortable with sexuality, then maybe I wouldn't suggest it. You definitely have to have good open mind and sense of humor to listen, but it really is a gem, and Dan Savage is amazing. Like, I just want to give him a hug all the time. The last podcast I wanted to mention is sort of a niche podcast, which is why I included it at the end. It is called Cast of Kings, and it is about the HBO series Game of Thrones. So you're probably familiar with the show. If you watch it, you must listen to A Cast of Kings. It's, especially if you're like very into the details, nerding out, you just want to have conversations about it. Actually, that's how me listening to A Cast of Kings arose, was that I was watching the show. I really wanted people to discuss in detail all of the things that happened on the show, but none of my friends were really interested or watched it. So I had to turn to this podcast, and I'm really glad that I did, actually, because the hosts, Joanna Robinson and David Chen, are awesome. I love Joanna Robinson especially. I love her commentary, and if you are a nerd like me and you want to go into like super detail about everything, then you would find this podcast extremely gratifying, and that is A Cast of Kings. So that's basically everything. Those are all of my favorites. Like I said, if you have favorites, please, please, please list them below. Anything you even remotely like. I just love checking out new podcasts, and sometimes it's a little hard to find good new ones. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll give some of those podcasts a try. See you in my next video, guys. Bye!